All right, here we go. It's about that time. Off and running with you here on this Tuesday. I'm Matt in the bureau that is the Mobile Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. If it sounds a little different, if you're looking at the live stream on YouTube, Facebook, or out there in X land and it looks a little different, well, it is a little different because we are live in the Mobile Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, set up by Cowboy Bill here at the Junction, the grand opening of the Junction here in Canton / Gluckstadt off of Sowell Road, on the Sowell Road exit. And sitting to my left, I've turned his mic on, is the Prince of Neshoba County. Calls himself the Godfather. I like my nickname better. Philip Prince, part of the Prince family that has put these junction stations in, 10 different spots around Mississippi. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, good to be here. Thank you for coming.
Well, look, thank you for this. All right.
Sausage dog.
Yeah. What's left of my country pleasing sausage dog? I got the one with onions, and it's the original smoked sausage in there, country pleasing. Bring it on.
Come on. Put some mustard on the dog.
Somebody just slapped you on the back and say, well, I think you know everybody here, Phil.
Well, we're trying to get them
on. We're going to have a good time here today. We're here for 2 hours. If you're listening, you walk in the front door. The actual physical address, if you want to punch it in your GPS to get here, is 410. Just remember, like a 410 shotgun. 410 Old Jackson. Look at it. 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton, Mississippi. If you punch in 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton, Mississippi, it's going to bring you to the front door. The front doors, we are kind of looking out the front doors back towards the gas pumps that are looking back towards the west. And I can see I-55. I can actually see Germantown High School's football stadium on the other side of
the Mads.
What a great spot right here.
Yeah, it's great.
So, Philip, grand opening. How long has this been here?
Yeah, I think it's about 3 months. So we've been going. The train that's coming out of the station. So, just trying to figure out the flow and all that. We kind of wanted to wait.
Yeah.
And we got a good crew, good staff. We had guys and ladies that have been with us for a while, so we just kind of moved into this location, and it's been a good team, a good fit.
All right. I noticed you use the word team a lot of sports analogies, because I've noticed that about you.
Just because I'm with you. Whenever home.
Hey, and by the way, look, Jay Clark commented on it. First of all, let me back up. If you're watching or listening to the show, you can be a part of it. You know that if you listen on a daily basis, you can check it out right here. You can comment on the live stream if you're on YouTube, Facebook, if you're on X, formerly Twitter. You can just type in a comment. It pops up in a column, and I can put it on the screen like this.
You have to read all those?
We can.
That's inappropriate.
Jay Clark on YouTube. I think you know him.
I know of him. I really
don't like him. Don't really like him, but he doesn't. It says, please ask the old Prince guy if he can still, quote, light it up.
Well, I'll tell you this. I played ball the other day, and I was completely garbage. And so I got the shooting machine out, and I shot, I made, in a 50 setting, I made 82%.
Oh, so, come on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So, yeah, I could light it up. It was never a problem lighting it up. I just wasn't very athletic.
You wouldn't exaggerate. 82%?
I got the film. I film everything.
Okay.
Because people going to say, no way.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's not AI.
It's not AI. Okay. All right.
But, AI to us is how it is.
Now, and you played basketball at Southern Miss back in the day, right? So when was that?
Shoot. It was 95 to 98. Trey recruited me, played for him for a year. He retired.
James
Green, man. We went from shooting 25 threes a game to shooting 40.
Is there?
It was like going from the spread to the option. But yeah, it was man. Hey, you look at all the people, just the people that I know in the fraternity brothers. Sport was really good. Yeah. Still talk to a lot of them. The kids are starting to play now.
Yeah.
Anthony Richards got a kid with JA, and so our kids competed against him just a few days ago.
That's great.
That's cool.
That is cool. Yeah, and okay, the black of all the different hats that we have a lot of different versions of Prince.
That's the old.
Let me tell you, that is a great looking cap.
It's an old Miss cap.
Well, I mean,
we're fair.
Look,
this is the Southern Miss one to the top.
Look, black and gold, but a black cap. Is it fitted?
We got the statement too somewhere.
But this is like a light blue with the
That's
old
kind of Mississippi State.
Prince, and it's the rope. Yeah, you got some maroon.
Yeah,
and
the
gray
rope's
and
back.
Hey, that's a great looking hat right
see,
there. Can I have that one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thanks.
And
I want to get that one fitted to my head here a little bit. But I did notice right over my shoulder, you've got like a new kind of Southern Miss black and gold version.
Yeah.
With the rope.
Yeah.
That is a good looking hat right there. Look at that. Black Prince script across it. It's got the white rope. It's a good looking hat. And I'm a little partial to black and gold. I grew up in Russellville, Alabama. Okay. And the Russellville Golden Tigers, they were black and gold.
That's great colors.
Yeah. But what I guess what I'm saying is the Southern Miss connection for you, you're immediate. It's not just you. Now you got a little one who's there.
Yeah, that was crazy adventure how she got there. Missy built her back. It was a Jones. She's a great human, great person, great coach, and so she was really for a couple of years. And rightly so. Hey, to my opinion, it's the best hire. One of the best hires Southern Miss has made. Yeah, that's a good, solid for our state.
And your daughter, Miriam,
MP,
MP.
Yep, Miriam is there. She's working hard. She told me the other day, I thought about you. I said, welcome to college life. And she said, man, they killed us today. I said, and you could just tell that you're getting acclimated to it and getting used to that kind of workout. Yeah, that's part of it. And so it's good.
I think you went through it as an athlete at Southern Miss, and I went through it as an athlete at Mississippi State, and I think everybody experiences this to one degree or another who gets that, is blessed with that opportunity to maybe play at that level. Like whatever you thought practices were like in high school, even if you had what you thought was a really tough coach in high school, you get to that level and it's tougher. It's practices, workouts, the schedule, everything and it's almost just because, yes, it's on another level, so naturally everything else picks up another level. Sure. And it sounds like that's what she's going through right now.
Yeah, and I told her this. I told every one of the kids, when you go and play something and do it to the best you can, you're going to get a PhD in life. You're going to learn, hey, a lot of people are going to quit that. They're not going to show up on time and all that. So she's learning great lessons.
Hey, look here. Nick comments on Facebook.
There he is. He's not going to come out. See, he's just talking. He's just typing.
It says, drop my chicken only pot pie off on the way back.
On the way back. See, that's a typical Carthaginian.
He doesn't want to come get it.
He don't want to come get it.
Yeah. The deal was you had to come get it.
Yeah. He had to be over 6'4", and I brought a tape measure because he's probably 6'2".
He's not
He's
quite.
that guy that said, I'm 6'4". That's what boots are.
Oh, I didn't get. So he was saying 6'4" because he's claiming that he is 6'4".
Yeah, he's like Randy Johnson. He's that big rangy right.
Left hand.
Yeah, I guess he was.
Is he really?
Did you know that? Did you know that rangy? That's from Jim Ellis.
Rangy?
He would just the way he described people. I was a Jim Ellis student.
Yeah. So you listen to baseball.
Man,
so
dude, I've been listen. I was the biggest Mississippi State fan. A ninth grade teacher asked me for anything that wasn't Maroon.
Really?
Yeah. I used to think. He's not Emory Malloy. That was a football coach.
What do you think?
What about the basketball coach?
Boyd.
I used to pretend he was in the woods watching me play.
Is that right?
Yeah, man. We went and traveled. My dad, we were there when Jackie Sherrill, when they announced there's 19,000 season tickets. That was a big deal. I was there. We went to the Peach Bowls. We went out and saw them in Texas. Yeah, so me and my dad, we didn't have a lot of hobbies, but Mississippi State was a hobby.
How about that? So you grew up listening to Jim Ellis call
Man,
baseball.
My brother, Eric Fritz is right there. So he brought wiffle ball.
Yeah.
So we would play, and Tracy Eccles, line shot. He'd say line shot, and so that's what we would do in wiffle ball.
That was a great Jim Ellis impression right there, Prince.
I mean, hey, look, he's a legend. And then Jack Crystal, of course. Jack Crystal said the drive, sonic drive home.
My drive back to Tupelo.
Yeah.
Hey, and the game that he used that for, I was there watching that. I think it was about 02, 03. It's one of the worst games I've ever watched. So I feel like I need to apologize to your brother. Well, I was busy trying to get the live stream going and everything, and I was checking the audio here, and I think he was trying to talk to me, and I
Snubbed it.
well, I didn't mean to. Is what I'm saying, Philip. What's his first name? Eric. I'm gonna have to apologize.
But you don't get any more until you get that.
Until I
you
apologize.
don't get a refill.
I'm still working on this sausage dog that I got. Country pleasing. That's another thing. Here, is that all the Junction stores or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you get it in a biscuit. So you get a biscuit.
Yeah.
Some egg and cheese and like that.
So country pleasing sausage at Junction locations. This is a really big, open, clean store here, man. This is great. You did it all yourself too, didn't you?
I built everything. I wired it.
Hey, how about this? How about this? A minute ago, Bill, Cowboy Bill, who set all this up for the radio show. He was standing behind us on the phone, and he says, "Is that Hank Jr. in the background?"
Hank Jr.
Is that who we
I think he may talk. Is he talking about me?
Well, you don't look like Hank Jr. You look more like Kid Rock. I should have told people on the live stream that we had Kid Rock on the show today. I mean,
we should do that out here. I could be Kid Rock.
I guarantee you there's some folks who would believe it.
Well, at Christmas, I do knock on Jesus. I take pictures of the kids.
Do you really?
No, man. No. I think so.
Let's see. Okay, Denzel texted the show just a bit ago on the country pleasing text line. If you want to text the show, you can do it. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. And he sent us a picture here. He said, these just got released today in Walmart. That can't be real.
That's
He's trying.
bacon flavor.
There's no way that we're looking at, what is this? Like cinnamon toast crunch snack mix that is bacon flavored. You're pulling my leg, Denzel. I don't believe you. We are not believers yet that that's a real thing. Hunter commented on YouTube. He said it's a smart man doing the color schemes for all three major programs.
Yeah.
Hey, and
we're Mississippi people, man.
I know we sort of went over it a minute ago, but like, for example, there's the light blue one with the old school original Prince Oil Company logo, the rope hat there. So that would, that's kind of a that would fit in with the people who go to Ole Miss games. This right here now, this gray, light gray with the maroon patch, new Prince Oil logo, rope across the bill is a really sharp hat. He gave that one to me, whether he realizes it or not. And then they have a black and gold Southern Miss Prince Oil cap, really sharp looking with the rope. And then the old school without the rope, it's a little bit more fitted, if you will. It's not fitted because you have the band on the back, but look at that. Yes, you got.
Okay, I got 4 million camera. Ben Peoples and he's at the office.
This is so black and the red, the Junction logo. That's a good looking hat too, kind of the trucker with the sash on the back. That'd be Germantown color. Folks, the Mavericks fit right in. You're not necessarily wanting to tie those to one school or another.
No, this is show simple too.
Yeah. But here's the thing about the light blue. I've noticed even at the college level, more and more teams wearing it. When we were coming up in Major League Baseball, the road uniforms for the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Expos, even the Braves, the road uniforms were like light blue. That's what, instead of gray road uniforms, they were light blue. And so it's been around for a pretty good little while. Smart man, though. Hunter says you're smart for
that.
Thank
you, Hunter. Appreciate it. Come in. I'll give him a sergeant. You can have his choice.
Okay, come on in.
Somebody's going to come in.
Let's see here. Shane comments, had to come look. Man, he does look like Kid Rock.
Come on, Shane. Yeah.
Put the shades on, he really does.
Some people said Snoop Dogg. One time I had one of those, like a tattoo.
Okay.
So it was some Keanu Reeves.
That's the thing.
McAnally from Jackson Prep says
you really could pass for it. Didn't you tell me somebody mistook you for Keanu Reeves at one time? Craig from Philly has texted the show on the country pleasing text line.
What's his last name?
It just says Craig from Philly. It says ask Kid Rock to bring me a hat. All right, so now we've got Nick asking you to bring him chicken
Yeah,
pot
and then
pie.
Philadelphia people are trying. I mean, like they can't walk to the store. Get to the store.
So
There's a rack.
junction location. So here's the real test for the junction like this one, the grand opening here for this location, which is it's technically Canton. It's right next to Gluckstadt. I can see Germantown High School there. With it's a chevron where you have the junction deli inside. Can you tell me where all 10 locations are, Philip?
Well, you got one in Oxford, and actually a Prince Oil location is Oxford.
Okay.
So we're trying to build that out. And then let's go to that.
All right.
Newton has 2. So there's a 9 spot. So
there was a guy that walked through here a minute ago that looked just like Buddy Stevens, football coach at school.
If it is, Buddy knows the chicken, so he saw the logo.
Maybe so.
And the flagship is Philly.
Philly. All right.
And then we got one right down I-55, which is the original. We were the first over the Renaissance Mall and all that. We were the first.
Yeah.
We were the first business.
Well, and I saw the junction logo on that exit sign down there at Ridgeland when I was coming up here today. Lewis,
capital football, 75 times state champion.
Yeah, and then and producing coaches too. Like they're the
cradle.
They're the cradle of coaches. They pump them out.
And then of course you've got the Carthaginians.
Okay.
The chicken mix pie.
And Nick.
Gluckstadt.
Guntown?
Well, the Guntown is, and that's what I was telling you yesterday. Those brothers.
Okay.
We have trained. We showed them.
Okay.
We showed them our program.
Gotcha.
Helped them out, and then they built kind of.
Gotcha.
Which you didn't respond to me the other day.
I didn't.
The coach from the Temple Buccaneers, Coach
Now he's the coach.
No, he used to. Gruden was in. He was talking to.
Oh yeah, with Ty Harden. That was yesterday.
Was he in Tupelo or was that just like?
I don't know where that was. It didn't. Tupelo's field, you can always tell it's just blue turf.
Yeah.
And they were somewhere else.
Yeah, okay.
But here's the thing. So you've got the Mississippi Association of Coaches Clinic that started today.
If he's here, I'm fine.
I think he's here. See, this was yesterday.
I played ping pong.
Well, here's what Philip's talking about. Yesterday, if you look it up on X, for example, Tupelo is like Golden Wave Athletics. Hey, Tupelo Golden Wave. You look up Golden Wave Athletics like on Twitter. They posted a video of Ty Harden, their football coach, and they were doing like a selfie video. It was he and John Gruden. It's great stuff. I would think there's a chance anyway that Ty would be here at this coaches clinic. It's a Mississippi Association of Coaches. I think all sports, multiple sports clinic. I don't know that. I'm just guessing.
You're just throwing out pockets.
It would make sense. And it started today. It's at the Sheridan in Flowood. So, first of all, shout out. What kind of deal will we give Gruden if he will come up here today?
Gruden can have 17. Right now. Now he's here. I mean, whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants.
I love it when he does. Usually when he goes,
yeah.
When he does that stuff, man. I'm telling you,
you know what?
I could touch the net.
Okay. I texted Ty after I saw that video, and I said, man, that's really cool. And we texted back and forth. Yeah. Ty Harden, yeah. Right. About Gruden being with Gruden. He said that Gruden gave them some a phrase of coaching advice that he was going to hang on to you. He said, coach with rage. So, you agree with that?
I told my little girl yesterday, I have two. The second one is really super sweet, okay? But she's sweet as pie. But there's one person in the world that can make her mad. I don't know who it is.
Her little bit of the Hulk.
And she came out. She came in. She was sitting there. She was just so mad. She was telling me, I said, hey, I said, whatever that is, you're seeing it.
Hold on to that.
Now you can put it off when you get off and you're sitting here talking. We eat a burger. Hey, but you tip it. Right. That's why I love that guy. Yeah. Hey, but that kind of stuff scares me. They kind of get next to it.
Yeah.
And so she got to make that decision. And you have to be mean. I know what he's saying.
You know what he's saying?
I'm with it.
Well, that's playing with rage, but what about coaching?
I think he's probably saying rage is again probably a negative word.
Well, and if I were to argue on behalf of that, probably what I would say is, and I bet he would say this, your team's sort of going to follow your example. that all teams really, in one, whether you want to or not, all teams emulate the coach in one way or another. They kind of take on some of those characteristics. I think that's part of it.
I was thinking about that one time I asked Coach K and different people came up, Coach K Smith. They were so meek. They were very soft spoken.
Yeah.
But I do think Coach K probably had an intensity with Floyd all the time. It just wasn't. Like my problem is it probably gets out of
It gets out of the cage.
Yeah. So you got to be careful.
Off the chain. He said, "So be it." Philip Prince here today with us as we are broadcasting live at the Junction. Grand opening is a giant Chevron service station. Man, clean as a whistle. I know you said it's been here.
I cleaned it this morning.
And did you yourself? Well, I promise you, somebody's pressure washed recently because it is clean as a pin out there. And it's a great location, man. Right off I-55, you can take, north or south. It's exit 114. It's the Sowell Road exit. And here, this giant Chevron, it's right off I-55, opposite side of the highway from Germantown High School. So my family and I will be making stops here as we come through, which we do quite often.
Yeah, it's a good. We always say that sometimes on weekends and we say you make a customer for life.
Yeah.
So you'll be a customer for life. Stop and you didn't know. That's what we want to do.
That's what I am. We're just getting started with you here today. Break number one coming up. We got a long way to go. Live from the Junction in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Y'all stick around. Back after this. So, here's what we'll do. See,
can they see you while you talk?
No. I'll reach over here and we go.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, country pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck, get pulled over, need an insurance card, wind blows,
He knows it.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team, the mobile Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Sitting beside Prince. Philip Prince. Here, the Prince from Neshoba County, Prince Oil Company, and the Junction stores, 10 of them across the state, including this brand new one right here in Gluckstadt/Canton. Look at this, Philip. So one of our listeners, he's a regular listener. He is Sven. He is in Berlin, Germany. So it's nighttime over there. We're over there where he's listening right now.
Good night. How do you say good night in German?
It is, good day is Guten Tag, right, Sven? Good morning is Guten Morgen. Good night, I don't know what good night is in German. You'd have to tell me. But he said Gluckstadt is Gluckstadt in German. It means lucky town.
Indeed.
He said, I guess Matt is happy to have some country pleasing. Man, I am. I just finally finished it during the commercial break right here.
Smashed it.
Well, smashed it. Philip, I'll put it this way. Philip, what you need? I didn't just smash my country pleasing sausage dog. I consumed it.
You did. You inhaled it.
I inhaled it, and it's what I would describe as my first one.
First of many?
The first one today.
Yeah.
My first country pleasing
Well,
sausage.
you apologize to my brother, so you can have that.
Told Eric, but he's a huge, sports fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Grew up a state fan. He came and, it's one of those where I had this on and I was hearing things in my ear. I'm trying to get something going. And I told him, I said, man, I was not trying to be rude. I think he forgave me.
Oh, yeah, he's not easily offended.
Yeah, let's see. Sven said, very good, Matt. He says, good night is, guten Nacht. I believe that's how you would say it. Nacht.
There's Big E.
Big E, there he goes. See ya. They can see you on the live stream.
Okay.
You can do like, there you go. Or you can do like Richard Nixon.
Hail State.
Hail State. There you go.
Big state fan.
Got it.
They'll see him on the 50-yard line.
Really?
I told him, Chevron does their deals. He'll never let me do it because if I go on the field, I'm scoring a touchdown. I am. I'm going to run down there and spike it.
Spike it.
And then do a little dance.
Hey, it's
That'll
funny.
be my last time.
It's funny what you and I were talking about a minute ago because, and I think I retweeted it. There was this meme out there that showed these 5 or 6 men, guys just standing around the backyard like eating hot dogs. Maybe there was a grill. And the caption was, men will stand around and talk like this for hours and never ask each other their name.
That's right.
Well, my comment, not only is that true, but my comment was, eventually we'll give each other a new name.
Right.
That's the way it happened. Somebody commented and said, that's exactly right. He said, several years ago, his friends named him Pee-wee, and he's been Pee-wee ever since. Okay, so in your family, you got MP.
Right.
Miriam Prince is MP.
Yeah.
And she's the player. She's right now in Southern Miss's women's basketball team.
That's right.
All right. Your next your next girl that's coming along, she has a nickname.
Well, they call her the Bear.
Why do they call her the Bear?
Well, I think, I guess it's because it's Sayer Meyer.
Okay, I
I guess. And then Samuel is the senior. When he was little bitty, my good friend Dan Young called him Big Game.
Big Game.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good one.
So he's Big Game Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the baby of the bunch is the Hulk.
Yeah.
How did the Hulk get the name the Hulk?
Well, during COVID, there was no sports. And so I used to go live on my Facebook. Right? We do 2 on 2 in the backyard.
Yeah.
Print Sports Network. It's obviously being stupid and silly. And so one day I came out and he's green. Valerie had painted him green, and so he had little shorts. Yes. Are they purple? Any purple and green? Anyway,
Whatever.
Whatever color he had on. And he played as the Hulk that day.
Okay.
And so we just started calling him Hulk.
He caught from that day on.
Yeah.
He played as the Hulk.
Yeah. But, a nickname is, for me, a lot of times, somebody give you one like Big One, something that's bad.
Right. Yeah.
Make you feel conscientious. But, if you give a good name to a kid,
yeah,
like Big Game or whatever, I think it matters. I think that's a crucial part of life.
My father-in-law is like, he's sort of like the king of giving out natural nicknames to other people. But like, he's always, my wife, his oldest daughter, he's always, her whole life, he's called her Squealer.
Okay.
Just because as a little baby, she was always squealing about something, so he called her Squealer.
I a lot of times won't give them, but I'll never, once I get your nickname, that's it.
That's it, right?
So I'll prepare. So a guy laughed not too long ago because he hadn't been called that since 6th grade.
And you remember?
I remember that's what I called him.
Let's see. Trent commented. He's watching on X, formerly Twitter, and Trent says Coach Prince is going for back-to-back Pee Wee basketball championships. He is training some young dogs on the court at the Arc.
Oh yeah, that's my man. Yeah, good story.
He also said the Hulk is a beast.
Okay, well, those little boys I was coaching, I got into we played this team like 4 or 5 times, and there was a rack of basketballs back there, and we'd run these plays, and they wouldn't do them, so that's why I can't coach. It's like I'm just short circuited, and I was going to punch one basketball, boom, straight into that, and so when I punched the ball, a whole rack. Every ball went straight back in there. Those dudes loved it. Yeah, I'm a 15-time Pee Wee champion.
15 times, really?
He's selling me short.
I didn't even know that there was such a thing as official Pee Wee basketball.
Well,
yes, there is.
I wouldn't expect you to know.
Okay, but let's start. Since he brought it up, let's start that conversation too about the Arc. Okay. So, for someone listening that has no idea what the Arc is in Philadelphia, let's just say
we have to get a break.
Yeah, I know. We got time though to get started. So let's just say that you're out of town somewhere. You're wearing a shirt that says the Arc with a basketball on it. Somebody goes, "What is that?" How do you start to answer that?
Well, I mean that's a good question. I mean it is a church, and so people would say, "Well, you're a basketball church," they kind of make fun of it, in a good way. And I would always say, no, that's just one way in which you fish for men, and I think it's foreign for whatever reason. We talked about this before, is that, people try to compartmentalize their life. And so I had good mentors that taught me, hey, look, basketball is a great opportunity to gather people, obviously get to know people, and present the gospel. You're going to share what's great for you with others.
Right.
And so it was just a way to do that. And then it ended up when the guy, the Clark guy, you saw his funny little quip there. He's the pastor. And so, long story short, I'd been asking people for 20 years, because I knew I couldn't do it myself. And when he said yes, I always say everything came together. And, every aspect that you could think, that you write down, you think about a dream, God doubled it. Like, it was crazy. Everything came together. And so, that happened, and it became, an actual church, where you're having service, you're having youth group, you're having, events that in that sense. But at the same time, we were, I guess you'd say, I read this the other day, it's a church for the outcast. It's a church for the one somebody doesn't want often. And so we have a line and a rail on the train track, if you will. We got basketball, and the other one is we're trying to get people that are in addiction. and we help them. We help them kind of get their life straight. We put them through. We sponsor them to go through rehabilitation, and then when they come back, I think one of the differences when they come back, we actually want them in the community of faith. And when we say that, you're not going to be over here in a group of addicts. You're going to be part of the church, in the church, with the church. We're doing this stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're doing it every day, man. We've got epic stories, and even with the Junction, I'll say this. I think whenever we started doing retail, you asked me that. God is an amazing. He precedes you even when you don't really know it. And so a lot of the people that work in our retail locations and some of the stuff that we do are people that are coming out of addiction. And the great stories that they came and worked their way up and now they're managing stores and doing things for us. It's very, very important, So you think about somebody that's an addict, if anybody's listening, they know them. They're in your family, and then the person loses their license, they lose the right to vote, they lose their dignity, often they lose their freedom. When they get out, they don't have anything. And so all we're saying is, hey, come on. We're going to help you. We'll help your family. It's going to be a fight. You get back to sports, and you're going to be a fighter. The call for Christ, you're not going to be, it's not for the weak. If you're really going to walk with Him, and so through His power and His goodness, man, we've seen so many great lives changed. We could go 5 hours with that.
Yeah.
But that's what life's about.
Well, and for those listening, if you are curious more about that, you could look at Philip's social media pages, like on X or Twitter. It's just at Godfather Prince.
Yeah.
And you share a lot of those stories.
I do,
right there.
Yeah, and I put that up, and a lot of times I feel like folks think I'm bragging because basketball I can be braggadocious, right? I'm like, it's in your face, man. There's that side of you that, and I am. I'm enthusiastic. But when it comes to this stuff, hey, anybody thinks I'm bragging, and you don't know me, and you sure don't understand. I know my weaknesses. It is impossible to have made the stuff up. It's impossible to say, look what we've done. This is stuff that the King of Kings has done. And Philip Prince don't change anybody. But you meet him for who he is, he'll change your life. The Lord changes you. And, I can call up Wendy Moo right now. She's in Union, Mississippi. But Junction, I didn't mention Union.
Oh yeah,
you didn't count.
Well, I didn't keep count.
Union is, man, that's probably that's arguably right there in that story. Yeah. The greatest. She would be in the Bible if it was written today. How about those three?
And she's at the Junction in.
Yeah, about to have a baby pretty soon. Got married recently. Just unbelievable. Story. I tell people that's like Lazarus. Can you imagine going to church with Lazarus?
Yeah, right.
I mean, how are you really? Think about that. You're sitting there. Oh, there's Lazarus.
Yeah. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
It's really neat. I went through Union recently. First time I've ever driven through there.
Coach Ryan. Hey man, that dude, you didn't meet Coach Ryan.
Yeah, I'd love to.
He's awesome.
I think White Denzel, he's from Union, I think.
White Denzel, is he still texting? He only gets me.
I'll check it out.
He shouldn't get to it.
We'll check it out during the break and see if he's texted us back. We'll get to the other text on the Country Pleasing text line. All that coming up here live today on this Tuesday from the Junction. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It's 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics.
All right, back with you. I did it. Nick said, put the maroon hat on the #1 QB in the state that resides in Lee County. Oh, I thought he was talking about me.
No, I think he's talking about Mark Fleming.
So
here.
I put the, oh, he's talking about Mark?
Yeah, that's what I told you. That's the QB of the Junction. He's a Madden Mafia former legend.
Is he really?
Mark
From
Fleming.
League of There he is.
Out. He's the one in the picture with you.
That's right. He had on the
True
T-shirt.
Maroon or true white.
When I walked in and saw him earlier, I said, wait a minute.
You sized him up.
Because who was the guy that actually had that T-shirt on that had the white thing on the back? So Ronnie had it on.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him. I said, wait a minute.
He didn't even wear his.
He said, yeah, I was the one you were in the picture with. And the problem is that he and I both have aged a little bit since that picture 12 years ago.
Ages of the mind.
Yeah. But what I did is I donned the hat you gave me. It actually fits good.
Man, it's good, man.
Does it?
Yeah, and so like in the Tupelo area, Nettleton, you wear that thing and tell people where to go. We've got locations.
You got
up
it.
there.
Yours is on a little crooked, right? You got a little slide croom thing
like
going on, right? Okay.
Hey,
so I think I text.
Unless it goes the other way, it's so confusing.
You really do look like Kid Rock now. I mean, you really. All right, so I texted you this. I think it was last week, and
it's crazy.
And we're going to bring the subject back to the surface now. If you're just tuning in, we are broadcasting live from the Junction Deli and service station here. It's Chevron, just off of Sowell Road. Cross I-55 from Germantown High School. It's a great spot, brand new. All right, so that's where we are, the Junction. You see them all over the place, too. Great food. We've had country pleas and sausage dogs, all that. Broadcasting live here today. Philip Prince with me on the radio, part of that Prince family. You can find him on social media. He's at Godfather Prince, big basketball guy. He used to hoop it up at Southern Miss back in the day. And we're from the 90s, me and you.
That's some good years.
It's many years ago. All right, but here's my question for you. Hypothetically, who would be the greatest one-on-one basketball player of all
Man.
time?
I've told you.
Who would be
I
the
mean,
greatest one-on-one?
Okay, are you saying 2 dribbles? Are you saying no infinite dribbles?
Well, just-
Nobody's beating Kareem.
Okay, but no, let's
No
just.
dribble. I mean, like
I
Kareem's
don't
gonna
wanna-
get it. Like Curry, give the ball to Kareem.
Okay, but let me just. I'm not trying to make it complicated with all these qualifiers. But if you and I go out here and we get a basketball and we say we're going to play one-on-one, what do? We start at the top of the key with each possession.
No, see, that's not true because you go to our basketball academy, you're only going to get 2 dribbles. You know why?
Why?
Because you're not going to dribble 65 times. It's not going to happen again because you come from the outside of your operator.
But so we're
Walk your whole family.
but we're playing one-on-one.
So one-on-one, you're like you would beat my girls one-on-one if you could just go. But if you play them straight up 2 dribbles, 3 dribbles, you have no chance.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying you can't? You are limited to 2 dribbles?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's more skill than long power.
Okay. All right. So let me back up. Let's make it clear. So we're saying one-on-one basketball where you are limited to 2 dribbles.
Okay, that's a different world. I mean, man, Michael Jordan's going to be tough to beat on stuff like that.
Well,
Kobe would be good because they're 6'6", 6'7". They got the handles and stuff.
Yeah.
Shaq would be terrible at that.
Right.
He'd have no chance.
But if there were no limit on dribbles,
I'd take KG would have been good.
Okay. But if there were no limit on dribbles and it was like me, I'm thinking you just take a possession, start at the top of the key. That's why I said Shaq though.
Shaq, Kareem would kill Shaq.
No, I think Shaq would every possession, if he wanted to, would take him right on under the basket and dunk on his head every time. That's why I say Shaq would be the greatest one-on-one basketball player.
I don't think he would. Because he's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. And then, are we doing free throws?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know.
If you're doing free throws, you're not beating.
Well, that's okay.
Kareem was a ninja, man. People don't know how good that was. Which I didn't see Will Chamberlain on it.
Right.
I'm just going with the people I watched. Because I told you, Dr. J was my guy. And this is harder than what it seems because I said, Dr. J's my guy. And I watched him in the 70s, 80s. They did this. They played one-on-one. Yeah. Kareem killed Dr. J.
Yeah.
Made me so mad.
So you're saying
I'm a Laker hater.
You're a little jaded by the fact that you saw that.
I witnessed it because I would have said, man, no, JB, that's stupid.
Okay, Bama fan texted the show and said Michael Jordan, no question. Oh, first of all, he said
he's playing within certain rules.
He said the John Gruden thing was at the Manning Passing Academy.
What? I need to get tickets to that.
Okay, but
you think Manning could make me into a decent QB?
He says.
You think I could genetically have been okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have.
My mechanics.
But you said you were 120 pounds in high school. Your size now would be fine.
Okay.
You'd be 6'2", what, 190 pounds?
Okay.
200. Okay. Look, he says Michael Jordan, no question. Bama fan says Michael Jordan.
That's a Bama fan. He's a football guy.
What's he going to know?
What's he know?
Let's see. Somebody said,
what did I ask you?
Unnamed texter on the Country Pleasing text line says,
if you're unnamed, you should have to name yourself. This is like Twitter.
Need to talk about his old schoolmate being inducted into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame next week. Now, who would that be?
Susan Bird?
I guess so.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Said she was a better basketball player than Prince ever was.
Hey, I beat her one-on-one, bro. Oh, nah, Susan Bird was awesome. Like, that's the legacy of the program. Like when she was a senior, I was like 8th and 9th grade, and we would stay after practice.
Okay.
And play ball, man. It was awesome. And she went and played at Ole Miss. She was a great player.
All right, let's see here.
Shout out to Suze.
Somebody says Prince has to give the governor of Philly Junction a shout-out. Says, Coach Rim was my neighbor. This is Lee.
Yeah. He's the governor of Union.
Okay.
I'm Michael Graham.
The governor of Union?
Yeah, he's the governor.
Easy now. You're getting excited talking about home. Can't be pushing the table forward.
I didn't know there were rules.
Easy,
so you're making rules.
J-Rock texted the show, says, hey, Matt, You know I'm on the road every day. I stop at the junction in Union almost every day.
Yeah, that's it. Tell Mindy hello. She's awesome.
Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. All right, man, he's
He wants
originally
a junction out there?
he's originally from Iuka in that area. Jason said, let's see. He says, man, I looked up his joints and he needs to put one of those at Tishomingo State Park. $5 for a dozen fried chicken livers. Capital letters, winning. He wants it.
Best livers in the silk. Man, people actually walk 6 miles for that livers.
Do they really?
Yeah, one way.
I may get some of those and eat them on the way home to Tupelo today. Let's see. Joe Mailman says, tell Philip I'm delivering mail around one of his old houses.
I guess. I don't
He
know.
says one of your old houses, Joe F. Shepherd Gymnasium.
Okay. Yeah. I did not build that house, but that's. Well, I can't tell who that is, but the mailman loves you. That's the guy that stopped by in Philly.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And now he goes to your church.
He does. He's awesome.
Nick says the greatest one-on-one player of all time would have been Darrell Wilson. That's his answer. Remember Super D?
Oh, 00?
00.
Yeah, man.
He was 00 at State before it was cool to do the zero.
He made it cool. If you can shoot like that, he's smooth.
Did he not have the most beautiful shot? Okay, so those listening again don't know. You're talking about the 1996 Final Four team, Super D, Darrell Wilson.
We played that team at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg to overtime.
Is that right?
Yeah. Southern Miss in my day, we just need we had Eric Dampier, we were solid. In that level, you just need that 6'10", 6'11" guy.
Hey, but that's what I was going to say is, honestly, Philip, that would be true for a lot of teams if they just had Eric Dampier.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that's the difference in the level of play. The guards and forwards are solid, but you got to have that big.
Hey, look at here! Look at this.
Oh,
MP.
Oh man, let's get it. Where's the
MP on the show?
Man, what's up?
Said,
man?
hey, Dad, and then she said, greatest one-on-one player is Andrew Prince.
Yeah, pound for pound, he'll crush anybody.
Now that's big game.
That's the Hulk.
Oh, that's the Hulk.
Yeah, Samuel's big game.
Okay, so I've got it mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Sambo can hold his own, but the Hulk is shifty. Hulk is he's the one that played center, for football, and then he goes out. He's like CP3 out there.
Plays point guard.
He's a point guard.
So this is a true story. According to Philip, he sent me the pictures last year. The Hulk, he goes to football. He snaps the ball. He's a center in the middle of your offensive line. Goes out to basketball. He's a point guard.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, you don't see that combination very often.
No, and what's crazy, he weighs 129 pounds right now.
Right.
He
now.
he weighs whatever. He's going to the sixth grade. You can't make that up.
The best thing I ever saw though was it, and maybe he's okay with you putting that out there. But y'all went on vacation a couple of years ago, and you took his picture lounging on the couch. He didn't have a shirt on.
He looks like that.
And the caption said, "We told the Hulk that he got onto him because he left his toothbrush at home. He didn't bring it on vacation. He said, yeah, because I'm on vacation."
Yeah, he's on vacation from brushing his teeth.
You don't have to brush his teeth on
He
vacation.
still feels that way.
Oh, Philip, that cracked me up. He's a hoot now. Not surprised. All right, we're having a good time. Hey, and somebody did mention this earlier. Justin, you wanted us to ask Philip about the statewide team camp out of Philadelphia. We're going to talk about camps coming up at the top of the hour in just a minute, which means it's right around the corner. We are live at the Junction. It's 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton. I actually see
Download the
Germantown High
app.
School.
I need to download the app.
Download the Junction
We
app,
really
learn all
worked on
about
that.
it.
It's a bad boy.
Hour 2 coming up. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there, Murray West. You can find them online, murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up through a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Greg, may I have a piece of that?
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Greg, may I have a piece of that?
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl.
All right. Hour number 2 of the show, off and running with you. See, here's what has happened. Look at this, Philip. Philip Prince with us on the show. Look at our positioning. See, you got excited in the first hour.
Yeah.
Because your chair started out back here.
Okay.
Not up. No, you just went
yeah.
up. See, that's the problem. You went up. Your chair started out back here. Come on back. Back it up. Back your chair up. Scoot back. There you go. I'm coming with you. See, here's where it was, because we began with the Prince Oil black and gold cap right between us.
Right.
And the more we talked, the
Coach
more
Groove.
excited you got.
You're doing Coach Groove.
Hey, you're doing radio with Rage today.
Radio.
Rage Radio. Maybe we ought to change the name. It's really, a lot of times it's old guy radio. Beaver has wholeheartedly agreed with me. And a lot of me. I do old guy radio a lot. There's Cowboy Bill pitching in, a little product placement.
Hank
here.
Williams.
Somebody asked me if that was Hank Williams. Here at the Junction, you can see that here and that logo of that train on Philip's hat. We are at the brand new, this is the grand opening of the Junction location here in Canton / Gluckstadt. It's not in Gluckstadt, it's actually in Canton, but it's right here at Gluckstadt. I can see Germantown High School right across I-55 right there. The actual address here that we're broadcasting from at this brand new, spanking clean new location. Big, huge Chevron station with a huge Junction deli and fresh food right over there. Lunch, buffet, you want to call it?
Yeah. The plate lunch.
The plate lunch.
Some people call it. But you got maybe other stuff.
Like
hamburgers and Philly steak.
And sausage dogs.
Sausage dogs.
From Country Pleasing, which Bill and Philip had one of those earlier as well. It's just a really cool place. And this is one of 10 just like it around the state of Mississippi. The actual address, 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton. So if you want to come by and punch it in your GPS, just punch in 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton, and you'll be here with us at the Junction in just a little bit. And you can be a part of the show here in hour number 2. We'll have a lot to get into here with Philip Prince, the Prince Oil Company, and the Junction. You can comment on the live stream. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, feel free to get in there. You can also text the show on the Country Pleasing text line. That number, 885-3776. It's a 601 number, 885-3776. All right, MP, Miriam Prince. She is a new member of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles women's basketball team. Let's see, did I have this right? She went to Jones.
Miriam?
Yeah, Miriam.
No, Miriam went to East Central.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got it wrong.
That's
went to East Central and then went to...
She went to ULM.
And now has transferred to Southern Miss. And speaking of East Central, my daughter went to church camp in Lake.
Yeah, the Hornets.
What is the name of that place? Would it be Tanglewood?
Yep, that's it. The Hulk is there right now.
Is he there right now? So my daughter, Mary Liddy, was there a couple of weeks ago. We drove her down there.
How old is she?
She's 13.
You Hulk get those digits?
No, not now. Plenty of time for that.
Okay, well,
back off.
Well,
okay, well,
she better not go to the same camp he goes to.
Well, that's funny.
He got shook up. He's speechless.
But I went through Decatur and I saw East Central's campus right there. Went home. And she said, Dad, a lady from Philly came to watch practice. I introduced myself and took the opportunity to advertise. I said, do you know we have ice cream at the Junction now? What is that all about? Y'all got ice cream?
Yeah, we got Hershey's. Hey, look, man, we tried to get Hershey's for a decade. We'd eat it on the coast here.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, man, we got that. I would have to ride. I have to make a deal. I have to ride my bike to the store to get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, man, I'm killing it. That's why I'm about, when you said 190, I laughed because, I mean, I got 10 pounds of ice cream on me.
You know, if I were where you are in Philadelphia, okay, like at the Arc, for example, the Arc is right around, I mean, like what, a couple of blocks from the old store that's been there.
Williamsville, yeah.
Williamsville
I tell you
store.
about the cheese and the boots and all that.
Yes, where the Mannings. It goes back to. Is it
That's right.
on Olivia's side of the
That's
family?
correct. That's right.
So Olivia Manning, Peyton and Eli's mom, and that side of the family, and so that Williamsville is right around the corner from the Ark in Philadelphia, the old, general store, so
That's
to
right.
speak. The boots that they're famous for, and you took me there once a couple of years ago. Walked in, and you handed me like wrapped in paper this
bacon.
big slab of bacon. I mean, like a real thing, all sliced up. And that was some of the best stuff I'd ever put in my mouth. That and the cheese. That's right. That would be the thing too. Nothing against ice cream. I'm just saying it would also
That's your thing right there. That kind of food.
bacon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You work at the junction, you get in the morning, you got a cinnamon, and then a sausage biscuit in your face.
Bring it
Right
on.
your face, and then Mountain Dew's calling my name. I mean, it's just oh man. So we try to do some healthy stuff in there too. So
That's
good.
good. Bring it on. All right, let's see here. Ben said,
Yeah.
Matt, you should go watch a movie with Prince Philip. What is
Yeah.
that all about? There's got to be a story
Well,
behind it.
yeah. Well, we kind of had a little movie club. We'd go watch movies, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. And I'm just talking to people in the movies. I'm telling them what's happening.
So you won't
And
be quiet.
No, I'm celebrating. I'll give, whenever Creed, Rocky knocked him out, I'm up there, And he gets embarrassed. He gets so embarrassed. And I've said some things that probably I shouldn't have said
During movies?
during the movie. But I mean, it's like, a lot of times it's only like 10 other people.
Okay.
It's not bad.
You're justifying your behavior now?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's great.
Hey, Brett. He says, stopped at the Junction in Union a few times coming back from broadcast. The best fountain drink Coke I've ever had.
I think you'd be all right.
So the mixture is just right.
Well, we fine tune it.
Hey, by the way, so you filled my drink up for me a while ago. I don't even know what I told you. But what did you give me?
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. I like it.
Valerie Prince. Yeah, it's good.
So that's what Valerie likes?
Yeah. And most ladies.
Hunter says, talking ice cream, I'm curious if butter pecan is in your top 5.
No chance.
No chance. You hear? All right, I hadn't high-fived you yet.
Oh.
Yeah, because my man Real C,
He likes that.
well, look, and I love Real C, but he loves butter pecan. He says butter pecan is like his number 1, 2, or 3. How can it be?
Don't know. He hasn't lived. I mean,
Yeah, that's
come
what
by. Hey, if he'll come by and get the caramel cheesecake swirl, butter pecan will be 10.
caramel cheesecake swirl. It must be good if it needs 3 names.
If there's something better, the word says that we cannot comprehend the things that are in heaven.
Right. You think that'll
If
be
there's something better than that,
in heaven?
I want to go.
Do you think we will eat in heaven?
Yes.
What do you base that on?
I'm just a happy city. Yeah. There's a garden. I mean, what do you think they're doing in the garden? You think they're just fasting on
Yeah,
that? They're
no.
eating of the vine, the best of the best.
All right, you're pushing the table for
I'm
Now,
sorry,
calm
man.
down,
You got me
calm
fired
down,
up,
calm
man.
down. But here, listen. See if you could go down this road with me. So you remember when the resurrected Jesus appeared to people, right after he, was resurrected on the 3rd day, and he appeared to the disciples at one time when they were in the boat. You remember this? And he's on the shore, and because which happened in several cases. Like there was one time he's walking
Are you
down
gonna say
the
he didn't eat?
No, just listen. There's one time he's walking down the road, the resurrected Jesus walking down the road next to 2 disciples who'd spent a lot of time with him. They didn't recognize him at first. Okay, they didn't recognize him. He waves them over. They come to shore. One of the things the resurrected Jesus said was, "You got any fish to eat?" And they ate fish. It says it right there in the New Testament. I read it. That happened. So I'm thinking, if the resurrected Jesus ate fish, there is for sure the possibility that I will eat fish when I'm in heaven.
And it's better than fish. It's better than anything in that.
No bones.
Yeah.
I want to say,
Chicken livers galore.
you say boneless fish. Let me tell you something. When you start marketing boneless fish here at the Junction, maybe you own this. Well, I would think you're onto something. You don't know about that. Well, you're the expert. I'm not. So let's see here. Unnamed texter says Leak has a great QB right now. How about Leak Academy?
Who does? Oh yeah. George Wilcox, absolutely. You need to meet George.
Yeah, he lit it up last year, didn't
Yeah, he's a great kid too. So about 6'4", he's got the body.
Yeah.
He's got the arm, man. You know, that's the thing about small school kids. I'm like, why do people not like? You know, if I watch somebody hoop, I'm like, I don't care where they play.
he? Yeah, it doesn't
And then I start looking around. I ask a few questions. I'm like, if that guy can sling it, somebody needs to get on the horn, man.
All right,
Come
so
on.
y'all spread the word. What's his name?
George Wilcox.
George Wilcox, Leak Academy. Put up huge numbers last year. This is the John Bond.
He's a legend.
The legend John Bond. Never lost to LSU in his career as a starting quarterback at Mississippi State.
I love that.
4-0. Beat number 1 Alabama in Jackson 6-3. And 4-0 against LSU during that time. And true story. This is a true story. This guy who texts, the John Bond, the legend, is being recruited coming out of high school, right?
Right.
Vince Dooley from Georgia recruits him, but tells him, "We want you to play defensive guy. I want to play safety." He said, "Well, obviously," he says, "No way." They are years later. He's the starting quarterback at State. They're playing Georgia. They run option left. You know, takes him to the left. He takes it to the next level, keeps it, gets to the next level. DB collapses. He pitches just as he's taking the hit. Haddix catches it, touchdown up the sideline. As the play is happening, he stands up. He's standing right next to Vince Dooley. He says, "Safety, coach, what are you talking about? Look what's going on. Look at this."
Yes.
He said,
Yeah.
"You
Remember
serious?
me?
Safety, remember me?" I knew he's your kind of trash talker.
Yeah.
He said, during 2 summers, I played some semi-pro basketball with him and a team from Greenwood, Mississippi. Kent Hall, a center in football, and a great basketball player.
Yeah, right.
Tell the Hulk,
He can be Hulk. Okay.
learn about Kent Hall.
Yeah.
All-pro center.
Now, Hulk said, man, he looked at me and said, this year, he said, I'm not playing center.
Okay.
But I don't know.
What's he want to play?
I probably wants that rock.
He wants to run the ball. Tight end. All right. Unnamed texter says the real. What am I looking at here? The real Dread Pirate Roberts. Okay, so this is the real Dread Pirate Roberts. Hey Matt, listen to the show yesterday. Didn't have time to respond to Beaver's grill problem.
Oh, he's talking about grill.
Traeger pellet grill. So Beaver, if you can see that, he's suggesting a Traeger pellet grill. It's literally set it, forget it, walk away, and then all right, thanks for the suggestion. So, Cowboy Reddy said that butter pecan is grandparents' food.
Yeah, true.
You with that? Grumpy Texas Show says, Matt, Grumpy enjoying the show so much. These are Grumpy's granddaughters that played against Philip's daughter, MP. So glad to hear that she is Southern Miss and doing well, and signed at Hale State.
Awesome.
They were at Jackson Academy.
Yeah, she's got a lot of great friends. She's good.
Let's see here. Unnamed texter. I need to put on my glasses, don't I, Phil? Not liking butter pecan is the most un-Southern thing. If you don't like butter pecan, you probably call it butter pecan.
I just don't call it.
Just you don't
I
call
just skip it.
RT says he thinks catfish are not going to have fins in heaven. So you can just pick them right up and go to town. Let's see here. Paramount Outdoor Living Texas Show says, speaking of chicken livers, I picked up some from that location right here yesterday. So,
boom.
And a boy. And this location, the Junction. How do you describe it? Like a service station,
Yeah, we call it a kitchen with gas pumps.
Kitchen with gas. That's really what it is.
Yeah, we have a full-fledged kitchen. We're producing, because when we built the first one, we just said, I have a friend who's a painter.
Yeah.
He called it, this side where you see the typical grease, that's the painter side, the blue collar. And I said, okay, I get it, but when you talk, I said, we're going to build a place where, the bankers will be.
Yeah.
And a lady would stop in and say, hey, this food. Yeah, so that's kind of where we set out to do that. A lot of C-stores try that and do that, and Mississippi, whatever. But we try to take it to a level that, you like it, you want to bring everybody in and get good quality. And that's what we do. We try to do good recipes. We have some that we've had for 30 years.
Did I see chicken on a stick up there?
Man, we can't keep it.
Look.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's good looking food, but that looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
Fried the whole
And it's
thing.
not chickenless. We don't do that chicken.
Jason in Flagstaff says, if I get to heaven and there's not some fried thick cut bologna and cheese biscuits, I'll be highly disappointed. He's gonna be disappointed, he thinks, if it's not there.
Just once we see the name on the
The man. Now, RT says you should have seen Kent Hall drive a golf ball.
I had to be a great athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about the guys like that. I mean, you know, they are phenomenal. I mean, you just
Those
don't have a
athletes.
clue of, man, so gifted and disciplined, all the things that go with it.
Ben said all of the food here at the Junction, their pancakes are the best.
Well, that's a high praise from Hardy. Being Hardy, born on the same day, June 14th.
You and he?
Yep.
Same
Couple
town?
of years, same city. Yeah.
Same.
Same. We grew up
Hallway
in the
that-
same church. No, actually, I was probably the last baby born in Neshoba County. Shut it down.
What, that day?
That day they shut the place down. We were sitting there like the Meridian.
That day they said, this is it.
That was so good the doctor slapped his face. His own face. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, they don't do it. I didn't do it, you know, but I don't think he was born for Neshoba County.
All right. So speaking of Neshoba County, where the Ark is, you talked about the Ark Basketball Academy, which it is a church, and it's really an amazing place. All right, but help me here. You got camps?
Yeah, man, we started 2 years ago, and Coach Child, you saw him. He's the coach. I guess he's at the clinic. He's the coach my Central. Okay. And they have fantastic facilities. And they were so gracious to host. He goes to church with us. And the people that were associated with it began to help. We had the volunteers, and so we put on a basketball clinic that is statewide. Actually, people came from the coast, man. We had people from Oxford all the way down to the coast of Mississippi that came to it. About 20 teams. He runs it. Justin Childs runs it and does a great job. But everything we make goes to help the people that we talk about. You know, it's in rehab. It takes about $4,000.
Okay.
You know, to send somebody, and usually they're 6 months. You know, stay 6 months to get sober, to get the word. And then we use those funds to help them, you know, get housing. And we got several houses around the county that we help, you know, place them in homes. And then obviously I told you we give different people places and jobs and things like that. So all that. So the camp, you know, to me, I think it can become even better every year. I feel like we got better this year. It's our second year. But as we go on, I can see it because the Choctaw tribe is building a first-class facility right there. You know, as you come in Philadelphia, the casino. I mean, I really, it's going to be a hub, a place that you can come in and have, you know, talk about Gruden. We can get basketball people to come into this state, teach the game.
Yeah.
You know, because I've always said, like, I'm not joking. If I can play college basketball, anybody can, right? And I'm dead serious, like a loser. And you got these people you ask us, you play basketball, and they don't. And a lot of times they don't because they didn't have what I had. You know, the advantage I had wasn't genetics. It was the house I was born in. And so if you can provide a safe place, which we're doing that, and countless kids coming through, give them good instruction. Because you watch my kids play, they know how to play the game.
Yeah.
They got good IQ, got great footwork, and you can shoot the ball, you can play, right? And so then you add all the other, you start adding other stuff, and the people that are around, you will find, hey, they'll go to school, they'll have a discipline, they'll have other people that are surrounding the middle of them, you know, because it takes a village.
Yeah.
And just the other day, a kid came in, and I was able to just remind him I'm undergirding things he's hearing. You know, we're just able to have a 30, 40-minute session with him. And I just talked IQ stuff. I didn't even really talk about all the basketball. I just talked about IQ stuff.
When you say IQ stuff, just the
Just simple things. You know, if you're running a play, and I know this is the play, you know, where are you going to be on the basketball and shot? You know, where's it likely when you shoot on the left wing, where's it going to go? And so you just talk about little nuances of the game that, you know, a good mentor or a dad or, you know, somebody grew up, you know, you can tell people about the quarterback position that I can. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know, so just passing that on. You know, it's free. That's the thing I keep telling people, man. I really, I've been pleased with it, but it would seem like more people, I mean, I'd sign up for that. Like, I would have never looked that much.
So you're saying the camp is free?
Well, no, this is, I was just
But
talking
you're
about,
saying-
I was just talking about the training. The camp is a team camp. It's
Right,
all
I
the
got
teams,
you.
like the Oxford.
Okay, so it's a team camp. They bring
they bring the
okay.
teams and just play.
I
We're
got you.
just,
Okay.
We're just pitting. And it's MIS, MHSSA, it's all the teams, all levels.
Yeah, that's great.
Choctaw Central came.
All in one
showed up.
facility.
So yeah, all there. They have 3 or 4 courts, and we played at Choctaw Central. And then all the coaches came here. We feed them really well. We talk shop. We meet people. My son, man, he met some guys, that he'd never meet. And some of them he never played. We'd never play Oxford. In the regular season, so we got to see him. They got to see him play. Complimentary, so you get to challenge yourself. Then you get to talk shop.
Yeah.
So it's something that you're trying to build right there. Charles is doing a great job.
Yeah.
But no, on the tangent, I was just talking about training. I was just
Yeah,
talking about other things we do in the gym, the place we actually spend a lot of time with the game, teaching hockey.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's 100% accurate regarding what it does. Sven agrees. He's on YouTube. He says sports for kids is very important. I'm a baseball coach for kids since for over 30 years. Good for you, Prince, and the community. Yeah, Sven's coaching youth baseball in Berlin, Germany. How about that? Yeah. Awesome. But it really is true. So, have you, far be it from me to throw thoughts at you that maybe aren't part of the plan or part of God's plan for the Ark, but as far as a facility like that somewhere other than Philadelphia, is that on the horizon?
Yeah, actually, I told you we were at a camp, and I talked to a guy. He's in Houston, Texas, and he was just saying, "Hey, look, man, watching what you're doing." And I said, "Man, really, you could just put an outdoor court.
Yeah.
And if you can cover it, cover it. Well, a lot of people can start right there. Man, you put a goal up in your driveway and get 15 people.
Yeah.
You got something going.
You
Man.
got something going.
And do a John Green. Ooh.
And what the Ark is doing is basketball is a conduit to, a sort of a commonality to get people together where they can then hear about God, they can hear the gospel and basically hear that message through basketball.
Yeah, you can be mentored. Yeah. And here's the thing, if you listen to it, and you got a church gym, open the doors.
Don't turn people away.
Don't worry about what the old people say, man. Forget it. You got to do what the king says, man. Open that door and get some people in.
Just like that door here at the junction.
Yeah.
We're opening the door.
Come on.
Back after this.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5,
On the Bears team,
On the Bear?
there was 4 linemen beat him out, and then by weight, he was the strongest person.
That-
By body weight.
Tell me your first name.
Well,
Nice to meet you.
You're a celebrity.
No, I'm
People are
not.
coming up and saying, I want to meet the QB.
No, but we were just talking about a celebrity. Okay, so
I'm a Tri-County ex-favorite.
you are.
Yeah, they love me. And it's not yet.
What do you mean an ex-favorite?
Because I bash, I don't know, they just love the whole school. I know a lot of them are connected. So I know that the story we started talking about, I know I didn't see him play, but I knew him.
Okay, so a man just came here to the junction. He was getting himself something to eat, something to drink, and he says, "I'm Swayze's uncle. How'd the interview go?" And so, cat out of the bag. Last week we got the interview for the Mississippi Outdoors podcast. It has not published yet. Linebacker Swayze Bozeman made 3 tackles in the Super Bowl last year for the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
And now he's on to go this year. He's with the Bears. He's
The Bears. Hey,
So
that's not
this
far
man-
from me.
What's that?
Tri-County's not.
No, he's from
Yeah.
Tri-County
Yeah.
Academy. All right, so his uncle is named Webb Bozeman. He says, "Hey, I'm Webb Bozeman," and Swayze's uncle get to talking. Swayze's dad, Harvey Bozeman, that's his youngest brother. We get to talking, and so Webb, who I just met, was sort of the conduit with Scooter Watley from NDWFP, long time producer for Mississippi Outdoors Television. Called him and hooked that up. So we got the interview, and it's neat. Okay, so we said his story, just a little bit about it. You said it. Swayze Bozeman goes to Tri-County Academy. He had like 2 junior college offers coming out of high school. That's it. No 4-year college is offering him a scholarship. He's got 2 JUCO offers. He goes to JUCO, and I'm drawing a blank which one, which junior college he attended, but he goes to junior college. Then he goes to Southern Miss. I think it was maybe Jay Hobson initially that gave him his opportunity to go to college at Southern Miss. He's there during COVID. He had multiple injuries in his career at Southern Miss, a head coach change. He was there for like 5 years, on off the field, hurt. One of these guys, like there's a lot of stories like that of people that just drop it and give up.
That's right.
So he keeps going, keeps working. He's undrafted out of college. Goes to camp somewhere as an undrafted free agent. Makes a practice squad with the Chiefs. Does well. Hangs around, does really well. Next thing you know, they call him up to the active roster. He's on the 53. Played on the 53-man roster all year for Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones and the Chiefs. Makes 3 tackles in the Super Bowl. Played in the Super Bowl, 3 tackles. Now he's over there going to make the Bears this year, I think. And when you see a guy like that who's an NFL linebacker, it sort of sets in.
Kind of looks like me.
Philip, I'm telling you, I doubt that you and I combined can lift the weight that this man can lift on his own.
You've never seen me in the weight room.
I've seen him and not in the weight room, and I still have confidence in him. So easy. But you know, you think about it, and what his uncle was telling me, Webb there, he's up there with the Bears trying to make it, and they got, doing bench press weight room stuff at Swayze is the fourth highest bench press on the football team. The other three are big linemen that are benching more than he is, but
that's their work ethic, and that's what some of the truck is.
Right.
They do a great job with that. That's
well, and there's a ton of stories like that. We were talking about Gardner Minshew recently. We followed his sort of career path.
Are you kidding me? Gardner Minshew, really?
Y'all tight? You kind of look alike.
Well, Flint and I are about the same size too.
Really?
Yeah. Flint's a professional. He literally could.
He's another. He could.
No, I'm serious.
He could.
He's a certified weapon. Now we grew up together.
Did you really?
Yeah, Flint went to the league. Gardner went for a while, then he ended up moving the brand and all that. Yeah, I kept up with him.
Well, look at his career path.
Yeah.
You talk about stick to it.
Well, he and Flint's given me advice for my kids along a lot.
Yeah.
Just hang in there, don't get frustrated, just keep running. And,
Sure.
So yeah, it's
well, and I talked about that with Swayze too, and he had the same message. And here it is. Let's lay it out there. If you look at social media, okay, if that's where your eyes are and you just believe everything on social media, then here's the path that has to happen. You get 15 offers coming out of high school, right? And you get to say, I'm blessed and I'm blessed and I'm blessed and I'm blessed. And you get 15 offers, right? And you're a 4 or 5 star. You choose that offer. You go to college, whether it's 1 or 2, you play 3, maximum 4 years. You're a top 3 round draft pick in your sport, top 2 maybe in basketball, top 3 football. And you sail off into the pro ranks, you make the team as a rookie, you play for 10 years, you earn $10 million, and you live happily ever after. That's the way it's got to happen. When in reality, that almost never happens.
Right.
It really almost never happens. It's outside of 1 or 2 or 3 people, per franchise over the course of a 10, 15-year period of time. The rest of the stories are Swayze Bozeman.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and that's what makes you too. And think about his life when he does get done. He's learned something that's vastly more important.
Yeah. Was it you and I that we were talking recently about, coach of the year that shouldn't always go to the guy who's got the best players? You sighed almost as if you were.
I just for once in my life I just didn't say it. Yeah. Again, you can watch. A person, you can take 5 people that know the game and watch it. And they can tell you who the coach of the year is.
Yeah, right.
And then the people that are supposed to know, it's just so silly.
Yeah, a lot of it is silly for sure.
It's childish.
So we are here today, broadcasting live at the Junction. It's a giant Chevron station, and what did you say? A kitchen with gas
kitchen
pumps?
with gas pumps, right off I-55.
Yep, right off I-55. But like I said, we're on the east side of I-55, right across the highway. I can actually see the lights of the Germantown High School football stadium right there.
And when they light up, man, a drone.
Yeah, fly them over there. Yeah. Back in the day, your friend Mark Beeson.
Yeah.
Poncho, who was a sports writer here in the state of Mississippi for a good portion of his life and career, he would echo this. He had the same experience of, at a time before we had these fancy phones from C-Spire and we didn't have GPS.
Right.
He worked for the paper, I for a local TV station. They'd send you to these communities to cover high school football on Friday nights. And all you had to do, especially later in the season, you didn't need to really know where it was. All you had to do was go to that town and then just sort of look in the sky, and you'll know where the lights are. Follow the lights in the sky, and you'll find the stadium. That's right, a big swarm of moths up there around those lights too. Hey, and I got to go a few years ago to a Leak Academy football game. They played Union.
Yeah, you did a great job with it. You always put out good stuff. But that helps. Again, I say small town stuff. It is the fabric of the community, and people get behind it. And, it's nice. You do a good job with it.
Well, and it really is what it's all about. No question. Let's see here. Robbie, he said, Robbie texted the show. He says, boys, I'm just leaving the Berg. I'm not going to make it by there. You're just going to have to trust me, they're delicious. Here's what he's talking about. Last week, he went to Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence, where Country Pleasing Sausage comes from. And they were selling skinless or casingless sausage dogs. They had different flavors. He got original, 3 cheese, and jalapeno cheddar. They were in the link size, same, 6-inch or whatever, same size as your hot dog bun. And he had no casing. So skinless. He said they were outstanding. I'm sure they were. Yes, thank you, Scott, for reminding me. Swayze Bozeman went to Colin. He played for Glenn Davis, Coach Glenn Davis, who just retired. They're actually going to have Coach Davis's retirement reception, I think, this weekend, maybe. The Wolfpack. Coach Glenn Davis was our running backs coach on those late 90s teams, at Mississippi State. So you think about the teams that he was a part of the coaching staff on, the Western Division Championship, 10 wins, beat Clemson, Beach Bowl. That was in 99. All that. But think about his running back group those years. J.J. Johnson, Robert Isaac, Nakia Greer, Kenny Williamson, Dennis McKinley, NFL fullback, DeCenzo Miller, Big Prather, Dante Walker, let's say Chris Rainey. I mean, and I might, but think about that position group those years at State. It was incredible. He did it. Oh, and Justin Griffin, who, in a long-time NFL fullback, he was a part of that group. How dare I leave him out of it? I mean, like I say, it was on those late 90s Mississippi State football teams. I've spent a lot of time going back sometimes and reciting the people who were part of the defensive line, right, and going, I mean, it was just incredible what was playing on a defensive line on those things. But then you start reciting who was in the running back room, and it's almost just as impressive. It really is. Let's see here. Somebody said, is Terry going to be good again this year? That's my hometown. What are we talking about, though? You have to text me. Are we talking football or basketball? I'm not sure what sport we're talking about there. I'm not sure.
I always think about 4th of July. Terry. You say that?
Oh, back up. Was it Terry? Was that the name?
I
Terry?
think so.
Yeah.
Terry was good. I think the women. I think it was good basketball.
Hey, did y'all shoot fireworks at
They
Prince
don't
house?
let me shoot fireworks.
Why not?
You know why? I almost burned down Philadelphia one time. True story.
Is it a true story?
Yeah, true story. Yep.
Are
I
you-
lit it and I put it by the box of fireworks. My sister Canton scooped it, threw it into the box.
Oh no! Wait a minute, it's her fault.
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I'm not a
you did.
fool.
You did say that.
I didn't say it. I just said what I did and what she did. You made.
We report. You
Yeah,
decide.
that's right.
You're on the show. Live at the Junction. We'll be back. We got a little bit of time left. We'll wrap things up with you coming up next. I'm Matt. Philip Prince is here. B running the show and driving this bus. He'll get us home safely in just a few more minutes. Y'all stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West. You can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up through a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, you know, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community, and what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade, and what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and you know, we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
Good.
All right. Back with you. A little bit of time left with you here today on this Tuesday, live from the Junction, Convenience Redefined. The Junction is a giant, brand spanking new Chevron convenience store, a kitchen with gas pumps, so to speak. How about that slogan, the Junction, Convenience Redefined? And then the train logo with the number 1960 on it. What's the significance of that?
That's where we started. My dad moved from Gluckstadt, Mississippi to Red Cliff Hills in Neshoba County.
Yeah.
He started. He had a sister who was kind of doing a similar business, and I don't know if he really worked with family. He said, he like Beverly Hills, packing them up. So he left and started that, and he did everything in the beginning, all the, he was the MacGyver.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he drive the truck, answer the phone and all that.
They do everything.
Then he just started, getting a couple of sites here and there and picking up accounts, and then getting, like I told you, I think whatever we talked one time, he ended up getting fantastic people with him.
Yeah. It's a really neat story.
Yeah.
And Prince Oil Company, you mentioned gasoline holding company, that type of thing over the years, and at some point then branched out into these convenience stores, sells a Junction brand. Great food. And I've been to the one in Louisville a bunch.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of when a lot of the state fans have stopped on the way in between different places. We got a car wash now that's a first-class tunnel with an oil change. We're kind of proud of that. It was a good, kind of a little different venture. Kind of something new for us.
Yeah.
So that's right by Walmart on the hill. Okay. We kind of working on some different things with that one.
Yeah.
Got some plans to do some different things inside that one. It doesn't have the full-size deli.
But they serve good food. I've had some food.
What do you mean it's good food?
Yeah, full deli here.
Man, I tell you what, now, that chicken on a stick over there.
Yeah, it's good. Corn dogs are good, you know. And when we did the one like in Philly, because if you go through Philadelphia, the fair's coming up, people go through the area. It, you know, it has a deli there where you make order on a flat top. You know, we're gonna make stuff. And so we made a Philly steak and cheese. I said we're gonna do it. You know they went steak escape, but you go in the mall. Because when I was in Hattiesburg, you go to the mall, you go to the food court, and they cook those steaks right in front of you.
Right, yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it. I said, we're doing that. And so, man, we've got a great Philly steak and cheese. And
All
that's
right.
good. So there's certain things that are signature, I guess. We got, and a lot of people don't even have catfish. You know, catfish on certain days that are good. That's
Yeah.
good. So we put that out. Put that on
With
a
the
sandwich. Yeah, with the
I keep looking at my new Prince Oil hat.
Yeah, you can get those, princeoil.com, if you want one. Or you can go to,
PrinceOil.com.
you know, you go to because I mean, we're one thing we're trying to do too is like, you know, if you go through Knoxville Paper Woody, so
Yeah.
it's a great place.
Yeah, right.
Right. So that's been in the family, like, you know, Dad opened that place, and then he didn't want to do retail, so he ended up like Woody Reed is. I call him the true godfather of retail. And you know, that's a Strange Brew. That's where we drink. You know, Strange Brew coffee was where we.
It originated right there. Yeah.
Well, that's his son. So the Reed family and all that, you know, that's how it happens. You know. So they went and ran that and did it well, but we provide the gas.
Yeah.
So that's the major form of our business is our places like that. But people don't know it. Like they'll go through there, they don't, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But we're trying to brand that too, so that I think you can know that this is.
Yeah.
Because one of our things is a guy texts me on the way. He asked, "Do you guys do things?" And I said, "Yeah, we try to help as best you can." And, so you're locally invested, you know.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. I was just there recently at Woody or in front of Woody's in Knoxville. All right, here's what happened. So I had Annabeth and Mary Liddy with me. Okay, they're in the car. And we were headed somewhere else south of there. We had to actually go through Philadelphia. But I wanted to take a detour and show them the Nanawaya Indian map.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you've seen before. It's a huge Indian map. That's right. It's a neat thing. So I really wanted to show them that. So we detoured. We turned at Woody's and headed towards Nanawaya. It took us, probably 20 minutes to get out to the mountain and then come back. But here's the deal. On the way there, here's what I'm telling you. On the way to the mountain, we turn at Woody's. We're out there in the country. It's a long, straight, open country road. And all of a sudden, I just went ahead and hit the brakes and started slowing down because there's a big turtle crossing the road. And when the homecoming queen's in the car, she's going to go out. You have to help turtles cross the road.
You didn't try to skate it.
She does not like to see popped turtles laying dead on the highway.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I went ahead and started slowing down, and I pulled over on the side of this road, and they watched out the window as I jumped out. I ran back up the road, a few yards to pick up this big old turtle who's crossing the road.
You just gave it
And when I picked up that turtle and began to take him across the road, that turtle peed a gallon of water all over both of my feet.
That's great stuff. He went back and told his family.
I could not
believe. He went back and told all the other turtles, I got one.
I could not believe how much water came out of that turtle as I helped him cross the street.
He's probably 50.
And it's all over. I got shoes and socks on. It's nasty. And I get back to the car, and the homecoming queen and the little bit are both laughing. That's great stuff. And I'm thinking the only reason this happened is because I'm trying to prove to you that I'm coachable,
Yeah.
And but yeah, that was the last time I laid eyes on Woody's. It was actually just a few weeks ago.
Well, Woody's, we do the triathlon, and that's at the fair. The Sugar Candy Fair, which is coming up. And so the best story I have is the triathletes were on the bike. They go from Louisville to Philadelphia. They run into the fairground. So somebody stopped right there and went in and got a pack of cigs.
Hey, speaking of pack of cigs,
Woody's.
Your buddy Jay Clark says, ask Prince why he smokes so many cigarettes to make his voice mess.
I don't know what he's talking about. They act like, I'm just talking. I tell him I'm going to do the Barry White.
You did a good Barry White impression a little bit ago.
He's just a hater. That guy, he's a
hater. Joe, mailman, text the show, said the thing I appreciate about the Junction in Carthage is Christian music playing all the time
what a witness to the masses.
Okay.
That's for Joe.
Well, I
Miller.
need it for myself, and I'm getting out. I'm grumpy, but there are some good songs. I've actually heard a couple here recently. I didn't even know, and so my wife is the singer. I share it with her. So yeah, it is good. I appreciate that.
Toddy texts the show, says, Matt, tell Philip I was roommates with Scott Carr at State. I'm still an Ole Miss fan. Bless you.
That guy probably needs some kind of therapy.
You know,
Scooty Carr, one of the best pound for pound under 6 foot shooters on there.
Is that right?
No, I mean total lie.
Okay. Well, but hey, anytime that I've mentioned you on the show, or that the few times that you've been on the show, I do notice that there are lots and lots of people that reach out to you personally through the show. In other words, they maybe haven't texted you, but they feel like they know you well enough on a personal level to just text the show or comment on the live stream and say, hey, tell Prince this or tell Prince that. I think it's a testament to you. People feel like they can get to know you.
I hope so. I mean, I think one guy said, as you watch me, he didn't like you too much. That's what Abe Lincoln said. If you don't like somebody, you should get to know them.
Yeah, then get to know.
That's good advice from you. So.
Yeah, sure. Well, listen, thanks for letting us come out and hang out with you a little bit. First of all, most importantly, thank you for the country pleasing sausage dog from me and Bill earlier today. Yeah. I got the one with onions on it. He went without, went plain. Yeah. Did you put mustard or anything on it? Just plain?
I did.
You put mustard on yours?
Yeah, I got mustard on it.
The one with onions was fantastic. Didn't need anything else.
Hey, one time I was playing basketball and I was shaking and baking. And the lady, the brother dog, she always did and said, put some mustard on that hot dog. That was gold. Put some mustard on that hot dog. I love that. I live for that stuff.
Look, she wasn't a bigger woman.
She was a big one.
No. It's like those. It's like those lyrics in in an old bluegrass song by the Osborne Brothers. It said, "Sister Sue was short and stout. She didn't grow up. She just grew out." Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
She was giving me the business that night.
Put some mustard on that hot dog.
Yeah. I was just.
You mean you used to hot dog a little bit?
No, again, if you do anything that was anywhere, a little bit above mediocrity, she was a hater. I told her too. I did the John Bond.
Dude,
I used to love. I love that man. I loved it.
Oh man, running the option. How cool was he? Those long flowing locks like you. That's why you let your hair grow out. You trying to be like John Bond.
John Bond.
I would say this to you or anyone else with long hair. If you can grow it, grow it. Just go ahead and grow it.
Well,
I will speak for those that can't grow it. Grow the hair if you can. Just go right ahead.
It's funny the responses you get. Yeah. I told you the lady came to church that day and he said, I love coming to a church that had, he was thinking this. I love coming to a church that has homeless people up front greeting me. And then later that week, he ended up coming to my house, and he told me, he said, "You were the homeless guy." Yeah, I guess so.
No, I think that is a compliment in a roundabout way. Well, I certainly compliment you and the family, you and your brother Eric and everybody, your dad who started the company.
My sis works, Deanna's. We've got nephews now, so it's good.
It's a family ordeal. But this is a really nice, clean place. Great food. Kitchen looks wonderful.
Got Lebroski. He just went by, and Briette. They're great managers. Yeah, just wonderful people.
New fancy gas pumps out there.
Yeah,
touch screen and everything.
I think you just pay with your eyeballs.
You just about can.
Yeah.
Right here at 410 Old Jackson Road, Canton, Mississippi, right across I-55. I can see Germantown High School from here. For Philip Prince, all of us here on the show, for Beaver, Bill, thanks for making it happen. See you.
See you. Go Cowboys.
See you.